So Omar and I have negotiated. Uh, so the last recording we just did was 9 o'clock and it's 9:05. And so he said he had concerns and he only wanted to share that with together with just he and I. So I turned off the recording and then he actually I'm gonna read the list, okay? So he shows this visual of us because I guess not recording, whatever I'm doing. Anyway, it seemed like I was more connected just with him, not with you and him. So I think it felt different to me. And then anyway, he shows me this visual of us playing ping pong. And I'm like, ping pong? Like if it's in my mind, and sorry, I'm on a sleep gummy, so I'm kind of high, which makes me a little more animated tonight. But anyway, I was excited to play ping pong and actually like be able to play. Like only in non-real life could I actually play. But anyway, and then he started expressing concerns. He said that Scott has a big imagination. I'm like, big imagination. And then I asked, has it been the things that Scott has experienced? Has it been just his imagination? Yeah. And I get a no. Has it ever just been Scott's imagination? No. But he thinks the worst of. Yeah. And anyway, there is this like, and maybe because I'm high, so I find things just funnier. But the tone of what Omar was expressing and the questions felt like the normal anxiety that any of us would have about sort of like a coming together like on our behalf when we know like oof, conclusions could really be jumped to like that kind of thing. Did I catch that right from you? And that it was so like normal. I was like, dude, we have to record this. This is funny because it's so normal. You know, which is weird. I mean, it's all weird, kind of not. Anyway, yeah, I do want to acknowledge you and receipt. I'm not catching that, but I do want to acknowledge that Omar, yes, oh, sorry, has been doing such a nice, great, wonderful job. Thank you so much at respecting the boundaries that we talked about a couple of days ago. And you know what? I hmm, the thought just came to me. When people respect your boundaries, it's a good way to build trust. But also, Omar can hear my thoughts like anybody else in spirit that's around. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So, in some ways, there's like kind of no boundary there. Not that I really care because I have nothing to hide. I really don't. Uh, and I'm such a terrible liar that I would completely fail at that anyway. But I would think that that would give you a lot more evidence of, yeah, my authenticity. Because I can't hide how I think. Oh, yeah. So, next subject. Okay. So, this was a very interesting experience. I was feeling very aware earlier today. And did I? Yeah, I did get this right. Okay. So, I had this like insight yesterday, the idea of I would identify as somebody who was likely pretty depressed like my whole life. I don't feel that way now, and not like deeply depressed. I never had an episode like that, but you know, and there's like a negativity, like sometimes an irritability, but kind of a easily dissatisfied or chronically dissatisfied, if you ask my husband. Um, anyway, and the thought occurred to me last night, like, hey, what if that's just an energy? I did work with this supposed chiropractor, but he's more of a magician, the other day, or a couple of weeks ago, and he like released some really negative energy. He said that was like all over my body. And that thought has come back to me a few times, just the concept of that. And so I have felt this energy so many times, the way that it felt this morning, but it's like, it's almost like it makes my face stiff. Like I couldn't smile, not like I couldn't smile if I wanted to, but I really wouldn't really want to smile kind of thing. It was pretty heavy and like stiff. And I don't know how good a job. Anyway, I just felt aware that if I can deal with it, and this is how my mind works. If it's out like outside, if it's in me or on me, I can't see it. But if I can imagine it outside of myself, then it's like, oh, and you can relate to it differently and even be a slightly bit maybe more objective. So if I look at it as an energy that is feeling stiff or depressed, I could say, oh, well, since I'm separate from it, I have some distance, I can say, well, oh yeah, well, exercise would probably help that. Maybe being out in the sun, um, or just time outside, or healthy food, that kind of stuff. And if I'm not being resistant and willing, and being willing to nurture that energy to bring its vibration and mood back up, then I would feel better. Anyway, I don't know how well that worked today, but I did try some of it this morning. But it just, all of this about the idea of energy and stuff. And we're going to cover some questions that I don't know that we should talk about that now. I think we should just talk about what you're concerned about, Omar. But last night, excuse me, when he came through, he gave me a bunch of questions that we were going to talk about today, but we didn't. But I won't lose those, and we will get back to that. Anyway, sorry. That was a big fucking tangent. Please go on. So what are you really worried about? So Omar says about Scott that he hates me. Yeah, I got that. Don't you think it'd be weird if you thought anything else? I want to make a joke. Then I would say that you're the delusional one. Sorry, that's part of the schizophrenia diagnosis, is being delusional. So I think it would be horribly unrealistic and really unfair of you to think that he wouldn't like hate you in some way. Um, who wouldn't? However, whatever, and must have been an email because I haven't talked to Scott since our podcast interview, but we've emailed anyway. And it was my distinct impression from an email he sent that he is not looking, no, he's bringing up being banished. He's not looking to banish you. That wasn't my impression. Now, maybe he hasn't said it to me. And I'm being completely honest with you. When we first sat here together and we kind of met, I couldn't have imagined him not wanting to banish you, or anybody who was up his ass in that kind of way for so, long, and mainly negatively. But do you remember I commented on that? I said, "Oh, I'm not sensing like animosity or whatever it was." Um, yeah, because I didn't. I didn't. I think there's like an acceptance. The thing is, we want to turn it into, maybe where he can feel loved because he feels respected. Um, And I get that you would love that. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Oh God, I would be so happy for you, for both of you, if it went that way. That'd be amazing. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be beautiful. I mean, weird how it started, like a strange love story in a way. Sorry, I'm high. I can't really help it. Anyway, okay. So what other concerns do you have that he won't show up? Yeah, I hear you. Um, Okay. I think so. We have no control over that. I mean, sorry. As soon as I said that, I was like, oh, wait, you turned off all the electronics. But we're not doing that anymore. I feel like he's showing me a visual of himself like this about me. I'm sorry if this is annoying. Uh, I'm not trying to be. It's actually I'm also really kind of having fun in this moment, enjoying this kind of interaction because there's a lot of seriousness going on around me and here lately. So, but he's saying he's exasperated. I hope you mean playfully. He's using the word funny. Okay. But we're going to talk through this because I want you to feel confident. Like I'm not kidding or exaggerating about that. So I want to make sure you feel good about this, okay? Yeah, he's like, so slow your roll. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the thing about hating you. So, does that help? Do you now look, I think a lot of, you know, not nice sounding thoughts about people that I really love, and I don't really mean them, but it's like a feeling, you get a feeling like something itches or something's irritating, and then you know, 10 minutes later, you don't even, some of us don't even remember being irritated, much less what we were irritated about. Like that's kind of all it means. So I would bet in the intense moments, how would he not feel that way? Yeah. Taunting, daunting. He's saying about Scott that Scott had the daunting task of having to face him nearly every day. Yeah. And he wouldn't have known this more. Yeah. He's using the term about himself, tenderhearted. But you are. I mean, here's the thing. We could say you have the potential as if it doesn't exist right now, but I think it's only because you're experiencing that you want to change things with Scott and for Scott. So now he's saying, I'm in touch with the love for myself right now, too, as well as of Scott. Yeah. Okay. So now he's saying that he can experience. So when we talked last night, he was basically saying, how do you have any, to me, like, how could I have any empathy or compassion for him? And we did talk about it last night, even though we were going to talk about it again. Um, but I think it was because he couldn't have any for himself. Yeah, I'm getting yes to that. And now he's saying, I can see a way to do that through your eyes about me. Okay. Oh, I love that. Uh-huh. Okay. I want to make a joke. Not my literal eyes. Don't take my eyes. Please don't take my eyes, Omar. But I know. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Anywho, what else, Omar? He's making fun of me that there's flights of fancy, but I'm just flighty. Okay. Well, yeah, and it's my fault, my responsibility, my whatever, because I didn't make sure we met earlier and I could have, so I'm sorry. But I'm glad we're doing it. Yeah. I know you have to pay the price of dealing with me. It's not drunking. He's saying like a drunking sailor. Did you say it that way? No, it's a drunk sailor, and I'm not drunk. But anyway, this is the only way I can sleep somewhat through the night. Otherwise, I wake up over and over. So I need it, at least for now. Okay, come on, back to you. So he's saying, uh, so we'll get back to what you're afraid you're going to do. But he was saying that one of the things he's afraid of is that he'll think that it's starting to go badly and he'll say something to fuck it up, like to make it like pretty worse. Yeah. Okay. That he might lose patience. And now he's bringing up that, you know, that he might be slight defensive, slightly defensive. You mean slightly defensive? Yeah, got that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. How about we both, all three of us, we'll include Scott when I talk to Scott, we'll set some ground rules together. He's showing like a pole and like swinging it around, and people have to jump over the pole. And then I see like no jumping to conclusions. Okay. I think that's a great idea. I'll write this down. Ground rules. No jumping. So that goes for both of you. I think that's a great one. Okay. Okay. No name calling unless it's the other person's name. Okay. You mean like slanderous name? Yeah. Okay. You and I were using the term asshole. Is it okay if I use that term? Thank you. And I mean it neutrally, not like as an accusation towards you. He's saying that's uh, why I might be okay. We we might be okay with it, or you will be okay with it. He's saying I can't. I can. Okay. Thank you. I just want to be myself. I don't know. You know, I kind of need that permission. So thank you. Okay. What else? No being hateful or excusing excuses. He's making up a rule just for him, right? Oh, okay. No being hateful or excuses for being an asshole. If you didn't see the video, and it might have come up in two, we talked about like being insensitive to other people's needs and, you know, being kind of an asshole. And I, can be that way after almost 20 years of marriage. I'm still being trained. Lucky me. I have a really sensitive husband. So, and I can, operate on automatic pilot in a way that's really insensitive and really doesn't work. So, and I'm not stuck in it. I'm not completely unconscious about it. And I have made progress. So I think that helps with that, what could feel like shame. And I think you're going to want to tuck that away for later, although I think you're doing magnificently. So that's really for you because I don't get that Scott that way? Yeah, I didn't get that Scott is that way. Okay. I love that. Look how accountable you're being. That's so exciting. I think Scott's going to be so pleased. Okay. Do you have another one? Yeah, Scott can make up two, or I think we should let Scott make up however many he wants to, but oh, sorry. He's saying about Scott that he will at least that he thinks he will at least likely want to add two more. Totally get that. Okay. Do you have any other ones, future ones? Yeah. Okay. One more, I think. Okay. No photo taken. Am I getting that right? No photo taken without me in it. Dude, I will pay you $10 if you show up as a freaking awesome orb on my camera. Well, you'd have to show up for him to do it. So that's more like on you, right? Because I don't know that he'll be able to see you there. Do you want to practice? I can't tell you how many times I've asked people to show up as orbs. Everybody refuses me until you, Omar. Till you. Okay, sorry. Anyway, um, so all right. So please, is the lighting and the setup okay for you to be able to do what you think? Yeah, I don't know that we want to do that. Sorry, he's saying something about devil red. How about a different kind of context, maybe? How about purple? Something friendlier. The whole D word is a little off-putting. I'm just saying. I'm not laughing at you. Yes, I'm laughing with you. Okay, so let's see what you got. Okay, so if you're the one watching, so if you haven't seen an orb, but it'd probably be weird if you haven't, it often shows up in photographs, but it's also easy to see sometimes when people do videos. And I guess on digital, maybe it shows up better. I don't know. I don't remember it on regular cameras, but anyway, so, and I don't know how, I've never really asked how anybody in spirit shows up as an orb. My impression is that they get to choose whether they're visible to us or not. Is that right? Now, what about on camera? Could you, like, let's say you get caught off guard? You always know. Okay. So let's just look around for anything. So I'm going to try to hold as still as possible so that my camera doesn't, because sometimes you move closer and the background changes a bit. So anyway, so yeah, we'll just see if anything changes as I hold very still. Sometimes I've seen like energy on the back wall. Oh, did that just show up? I don't know if that's my monitor, but I'm seeing sort of this line that looks like it's kind of right through the middle horizontal line. Oh, and right above that. Oh, thank you. So where by my left eye, I'm seeing, I hope you guys can see this. I have a pretty big monitor, so you might not be able to if you're doing it on something small, but if you can, so between my face and the end of the mic stand, it looks like sort of like a hill of energy, and it's sort of fluttering. Very cool, Omar. Very cool. Sorry, that noise is my husband. You heard it. Oh, I hope you guys can see that. It's subtle. It's subtle. So if you can see this line, like horizontal line, it's like right above it. Oh, I'm just feeling something a bit odd. And now I'm seeing even more energy. So look around this part right here. And again, if you can look on a big monitor, that would be helpful probably. Yeah, in that upper corner on my left. So like that way. Yeah, that's cool, Omar. Okay, well, that's good enough. Is that good enough? Okay, I think he wants to try to do a blue orb. Have at it. Just want to share a little story as we're waiting for Omar, who probably has to muster up some energy to do that. Is I was doing a reading with somebody and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I saw like what looked like a little white feather, like a really little one, kind of float up his chest, and kind of go like this. And then just at some point it turned into like a circle and it sort of floated away. So it looked like a feather and then it was an orb. It was really cool. I hadn't seen that kind of thing before like that. Yeah. I think almost concern is that Scott may not be able to see because what he's doing is very subtle. Yeah, I can see that you're doing it again. And yeah, no, I'm with you. And I don't know. So yeah, something with more contrast would probably be better if you can muster that. And I bet you can have somebody teach you how to do that as an orb. Don't ask my relatives because they don't do it. I don't mean to be bitter, but I would find it very exciting. Anyway, yeah, I have the one. I have one video of a blue orb at night at like a stadium in the street light, and it was like really magnificent. So that was a really cool one. I have a few. I just think they're beautiful. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll work on that for tomorrow. Did you have another ground rule? All right. We'll see. That actually that I think that's a boundary violation. He said, "Love me because I love you." For Scott. We might be crossing a line there. I do think so. He's asking me if I think. Do you think? Yeah. Were you being sarcastic? No, you're being genuine. Yeah, I do actually. Look, I don't even force my cat to let me hold her. And you know how much I freaking love holding cats? I hate that part. But you know what? I want her to feel respected, and she really doesn't like that. So I tried to get away with it today, but it kind of seemed iffy. Maybe she wanted it. I'm just saying, putting a demand on somebody of something to ask of them that's, not even about them, I think that's a boundary violation. But why don't we come up with something that isn't, that would satisfy whatever you're concerned about? Okay. I'm getting appreciate my good nature because I'm trying harder these days to please you. To please you? To please your attitude? Oh, to please him about your attitude. Okay. I think that's a fair assessment. Okay. Is that it? Yeah. I thought you were going to have two more. Okay. And we'll work on the photo thing, but I don't know how much I don't feel like I can control any of that. Did you mean during our meeting? You just meant to Scott in general. Yeah. Well, we'll have to work on the orb thing. And that would be a nice thing for you guys to negotiate because maybe he's not okay with that. I know. He's saying, I hope he is. I hope so for your sake also. But I think it's even more important for us to learn about what Scott wants and to go, okay, well, that's what Scott wants. So, all right, I could do that. And that's it. Not that big of a deal, but to really do it just because it's important to him, even if you don't agree. That's another sign of love. Okay. All right. Well, this was fun. Oh, I think I was just in a time warp. It's only been half an hour. It feels a lot longer. All right, never mind. Anyway, okay. Anything else, Omar? He's saying to me, I love uh your attention and time. Did I get that right? Oh, that it looked different than how it came out of my mouth. Your attention and detail to time. Okay. I might be a little too high to pick up on stuff, but anyway. Yeah, my pleasure. And thanks, because I can feel you growing in these ways, and I think that's just really awesome. I hope you're feeling proud of yourself or good about yourself. Yeah, he's saying I'm better with myself right now. Yeah, than in many years. I feel that. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. I genuinely am. He's like, I know, I can feel it. Okay. Okay. I'm getting that there isn't anything else. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you have a good night. Hope you have a good night. And I hope I have a good night. Good night.